this is, well, got a lot of coverage here in Australia. I mean, we've got an article on the ABC, an article on SBS, an article on Channel 9, an article on the Sydney Morning Herald about Ben Roberts-Smith VC, who was fighting against was it Channel 9? No, 9 newspapers. So they made allegations that he was involved in some incidents in Afghanistan around the time that the incidents that he was awarded the VC for took place, but the allegations were that the actions he was involved with and may have been directly involved with or partook in amounted to war crimes. And so he came out swinging, saying, "I'm a VC, blah blah blah. You're alleging war crimes. It's besmirching my reputation. It's a whole bunch of things." Now, there'd been the Brereton report, and there'd been a bunch of other investigations into the actions of special forces, Australian special forces in Afghanistan. There'd been footage of what appeared to be extrajudicial executions of Afghani civilians, and the determination of combatants versus non-combatants sometimes appeared a bit more fluid than it should have been. And so there was a lot of focus applied to SOTG, I think they were called, Special Operations Task Group. And I believe that there's still some ongoing investigations. People felt that there was maybe a bit of a cover-up, that even the internal investigations weren't going to bring people to account for what they did or alleged to have done. And of course, you then had people going back into Afghanistan to interview the affected people. And then there was basically the feeling that there would be no justice for what took place. Right, background covered. And so Channel 9 had made, through their newspapers, had made allegations that Ben Roberts-Smith VC had been involved with some of those incidents. And so he then launched a defamation claim against them. And basically there was QCs, SCs, KCs coming out of the woodwork on both sides. Channel 9 basically very deep pockets. Ben Roberts VC, not so deep pockets, but he was working for Channel 7 at the time, and owned by Kerry Stokes, and Kerry Stokes backed him to the hilt. And so Kerry Stokes had very deep pockets. So whilst the actual case was Ben Roberts VC versus 9 News or 9 Media Group, in essence it was Channel 7 versus Channel 9, with Ben Roberts sort of as the piece on the chessboard being moved around. So that's why you had two very well-funded media groups going up against each other over what, quite frankly, was very serious allegations. A lot came out during that series, during the initial series of court cases, and it left a bad taste in the mouth for a lot of people. There were suspicions that the VC award had been a political thing, that there may have been more deserving people out there who hadn't received recognition for their actions. There were concerns as well about subsequent actions and attempts to intimidate, apparent attempts to intimidate witnesses, attempts to influence what was going on. It was, there was a lot of mud that came out of the woodwork, and given the organisations involved that were funding or actively engaged, they wallowed in that sort of stuff. Basically, his attempt to so what's happened is Ben Roberts-Smith VC has taken the defamation ruling against him to the High Court, attempting to get it overturned on appeal. But the High Court has refused to hear the case, and so there is no further legal pathway for him to reverse the defamation ruling. Now, the Court of Public Opinion has pretty much already come down against him, and it has been that way now for a little while. It's the legal stance, the legal outcome has also now, it appears, come down against him. And it comes into things that, well, as Robert Smith VC says, there were spiteful allegations, that there were people with an axe to grind coming in left, right, and centre, and it contributed to, well, it was tied into or contributed to or seen alongside a bunch of inquiries that were going on into special forces in Afghanistan, or even special forces in general, and yeah, it didn't come at a good time for them. To the point that I was told that even the War Memorial had removed his items from display in the VC hall because of the allegations and everything else that was going on. But you can see he's got a couple of interesting, I mean, obviously you've got the VC. I believe that's a gallantry decoration. Iraq deployed on operations type things. Meritorious unit citation, but he wasn't present at the unit when that was awarded. So he's serving at a unit that's had a meritorious unit citation, and I'm not sure what that's a unit citation for, but he was there when that was awarded. So plus the sort of allegations that were coming about his conduct as an individual, what he was like as a soldier, all that sort of stuff. There was, a lot of scuttlebutt running around at the time. And continuing to fight it as openly as he did and publicly as he did just meant that more and more of that stuff kept falling out of the woodwork, and some of it was an own goal. Obviously, he felt that his reputation was being slandered and or being diminished because of the reporting against him. And I mean, sure, if you feel that's the case, fight it. But as more and more evidence came out, or more and more stuff came out that was accepted as evidence, it seemed that his case just got worse and worse. So yeah, this was basically on a point of law as opposed to on a point of the material understanding of what took place. Also, then there's issue of costs, because it was very expensive, very, very expensive. And even here, Channel 9 saying, look, he's done this maliciously, so apply a punitive factor to the awarding of costs. But the appeal said, look, no, not really. It is, I guess, good eventually to see that the case is now finished and dragged on for a long time. And like I said, it's attracted, even today, it's attracted attention from Channel 9, ABC, SBS, Sydney Morning Herald, and I'm sure there'd be other news coverage as well. Maybe in hindsight he should have just taken the hit when they first published and kept his mouth shut, and everyone would have forgotten about it. I mean, he would have felt slighted by it, but I certainly think that things like the degree of complicity in murder of unarmed prisoners, yeah, I don't know that we're going to see him lose the VC as a result. I don't think it'll go that far, but yeah, it's certainly a lot of details came out because he chose to fight. Probably wouldn't have, and yeah. So well, I can close out those ones, but yeah, I mean, SBS would have a slightly interesting take as well because they're probably more interested in what Afghanis think. There you go. The costs are expected to exceed $30 million for the trial and appeal, which were not even half a year, not even 6 months worth of work. Well, I'm sure there's other work behind the scenes, but not even 6 months of trial. And it's costing probably 30 plus million. Yeah, it's the details of the claims. Look, I don't want to repeat them. You can go look them up, and it was found that the claims of what took place were, well, worthy of being publicised. And as the closing statement says there, whilst it's alleged that he was involved in war crimes, he's maintained his innocence, but has not been charged with criminal wrongdoing. Like I said, though, the court of public opinion has well and truly shifted against him in regards to the claims that took place. Yeah, especially in the context of the broader issues of what was going on with the special forces at the time.